Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Our theme for today is how to work, learning to work with people who are a little different from you. And I have a story, is that I had a friend, actually an office mate, his name was Gerald. We were working in the government when I was newly hired. He was 2 months hired together with me. And so we were the young ones, we were single. And we became instant buddies, We were funny together. He was helpful. We were in the computer department, so he did the hardware stuff, I did the software part, and we kind of helped people. And we shared many funny stories. Most this person complains about the printer, and it doesn't work. All I had to do was plug it in, something like that. And then I said, hey, I'm coming to install Windows. And the person said, you can't install Windows. I have a cubicle, I have no walls. Sorry, I mean software Windows. So all of those kind of stories, And one director freaked out at us. Why are you putting mouse in my room? It's a electronic mouse. It's not a real mouse. Okay, so all of those stuff. Anyway, we were working in the IT department. But anyway, however, he had one flaw. He loves to borrow money. He didn't know how to handle finances well. And so since I'm his buddy, I'm always the first person he asks. He only not ask me but others. And so the first time, I lent him some. But later, it proved to have to be like a strain in the relationship. I had to suppress. Sometimes I get annoyed, hurt, or frustrated, And I felt trapped because here's my best friend, and he's like my buddy to me. The only way I can get out of this is if I find another job. But who will try to find another job because we have an annoying friend who has this bad habit. And he breaks promises too. Sometimes he says he'll pay, but he doesn't. And especially on payday. On payday everybody's happy. On payday I'm anxious because I don't know if he'll pay me or not. So it's so funny. So I had to learn. And so the thing was, I learned to ask advice out of this situation. The first thing I learned was to ask advice, practical advice. And people said, it's up to you. Relationship or the money. You can end the relationship for $100. If he owes you $100, what's more important, the relationship or the $100? Another person told me, you have to live with it, or you can lend money only that you are afford to lose it. For example, if you can afford to lose $50, that's fine, give a limit. And so today, if some of you wise guys would like to borrow money from me, I'll have to ask my wife. That's what I learned from being married. Okay. Anyway, but I think the most important thing is I became closer to God in a way because I had to pray. Not to pray about my friend, but to pray about what I feel, the pain, the hurt, the frustration, my angry, I was angry, and how I could live at peace. If some people owe you money or some people do break promises, of course you feel something bad, you hurt. But the good thing is that out of this I learned to be more patient, and I learned to see that it's not him but me, how I will react. And the best thing was I learned to trust God and grow closer to Him through this situation. And I think that's the point. Sometimes I notice problems would come, and sometimes problems would go. But I think the point is not the problem itself or how to solve the problem. I think the point was how I became closer to God. It brought me closer to God in a way. And I think for me, that was the main reason. Situations bring us either farther away from God or closer to God. And that's what I learned. Before I left, I stayed in the government for 5 years. I think last year we had a retreat. Our office had a nice retreat. It was on the beach side, near, there were lots of corals. And so he and me and some of my friends, we went snorkeling over corals. It's in the Philippines, if you know the place, Puerto Galera and Mindoro. Anyway, and so at that time, I swam and we snorkeled for about an hour, and I went a little farther, too deep, and I started to panic. And when I started to panic, I almost felt that I would drown. And luckily, he was at my side because we were still buddies, and I didn't end the relationship just because of that money issue. And so he saw me, and he helped me, he dragged me to safety. And I was appreciative of him. I appreciated that. And in conclusion, I am happy. Today, I could still consider him a friend, even if I don't see him. And it was important to me. I didn't end the relationship. It still stands. Although, I'll miss him. And he still owes me money, though. He never paid because when I left, I never asked him to pay. So, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is, out of this situation, I learned to be closer to God, to really trust Him. And I realized problems always come and go. There is no end in the assault of problems or situations in our life. But if I become closer to God, we're stronger in faith and hope in Him and love Him, I think that is the real point of all of this.